Natalie, a very good evening to you. And, well, just judging by reaction here from South Africans, we've had a lot of excitement, but we've also had a lot of skepticism over this visit. And if you get onto Twitter, you'll be able to see some of that. But what's the reaction been there at home to this young couple with a new baby who've chosen to come and, visit South Africa and Southern Africa at this time?
Yeah, I think a lot of people here think that they're quite brave to take a 4-month-old child all the way to South Africa on an aeroplane. But, of course, there's a lot of praise being given to them as well for doing that. They're clearly taking their royal duties very seriously. We know that Prince Harry is the Commonwealth Youth Ambassador, for example, a role that he holds very dearly, very close to his heart. And, of course, Meghan Markle not long off maternity leave there, but clearly trying to uphold her royal duty. So a lot of praise from them. Now, the right-wing media here in the UK, I must say, has played up the fact that they have been visiting what they've deemed a dangerous township in Cape Town today, of course, and there's been a lot of speculation about that. But really what Harry and Meghan are trying to do is show their appreciation for culture across the African continent, but also to try to raise awareness about certain issues and indeed those initiatives and try to promote those initiatives that are essentially doing good on the ground. So it's, yes, a lot of fanfare and excitement and dancing and that kind of thing, but also a serious tone to this visit as well.
And I mean, Africa, as Harry says, has always had a very special places in his heart. He's at times called it his second home as well. So, I mean, he came here as a little boy as well with his dad as well. So, he really likes coming to Africa and South Africa.
Yeah, he does. His first visit was actually when he was 13, just after the death of his mother, Princess Diana. And it was a place for him to get away from it all. That was the words of Prince Charles. And I think since then, it's become a place that Harry has felt very comfortable in. He did his gap year there, for example. But also a lot of the charities and initiatives that he's been involved in are, of course, across Africa. And I think what we also see is him continuing the work that his mother, Princess Diana, did across Africa as well, and those initiatives very close to the Prince's heart, and clearly wanting to share a lot of that now with his own family, his new family.
And, I mean, a lot of romance that he seems to have found on the continent as well, Natalie. I mean, he did have a girlfriend, am I right? What was it? Chelsea Davy from Zimbabwe as well. She was the one before Meghan Markle, I think. And also he brought Meghan Markle here after they'd just been on, a couple of dates, and convinced her to come and meet him in Botswana. And even her diamond for her ring has come from Botswana. So he's, had a lot of romance in this, here on the continent.
Well, clearly the African continent, a very romantic place indeed. But you're absolutely right. He met Chelsea Davy, the Zimbabwean businesswoman there. They had this on and off relationship for a number of years. And you might be mistaken into thinking that he might be a bit worried about bumping into her, but that's not going to be the case, of course. The two have remained firm friends, and she even turned up to his wedding, which many might seem a bit confused by. I'm not sure I would want an ex at my wedding. And you're absolutely right in terms of Meghan Markle. They had something like their third date underneath the stars in Botswana in a tent, we were told, and that's how they really got to know each other very well. A bit of a strange third date, I can admit, but in terms of their timetables, that's the only way they could make it work, with her being in the US and him travelling a lot as part of his royal duties as well. So it's clearly a place where they feel very at home, and is important to not only the work that they want to do, but also their relationship and forming of that relationship.
And Natalie, I mean, a lot of people might still be skeptical, thinking, okay, yes, we always have somebody who wants to come and show that they're supporting some kind of cause. Yes, they'll hug the kids and they'll do the dances and all of that, and then just go back to living their royal lives. But when it comes to Harry and Meghan, you kind of get a feeling that, there's a lot of sincerity there. It's not just for the photographers. It's not just for the front pages.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the first things we were told that they bonded over, that they wanted to travel to places and try to do good and support initiatives. But this isn't a one-off thing. This is something that Harry has been doing from a very young age. He's set up a lot of foundations and initiatives, but also rolls up his sleeves and gets involved in those, in supporting. There's about 3 things that he's quite clear on what he supports. It's young people and the progression of young people on the continent. It's also about supporting wildlife initiatives and animals, and also sustainability and conservationism. So those 3 topics are really something that is very important to the Prince, and of course topics and initiatives that he has been supporting for many, many years across the continent. So while it might look like a fly-in, fly-out, good pictures for the TV cameras and looking good back home, it does seem with this couple certainly a little bit more than that, a little bit more deeper than that they are taking very seriously their roles as Commonwealth Youth Ambassadors and continuing this work, but not just because they get praise back home for it. It's actually work that they do want to get involved in, and I think they're very people as well. They do get involved with those initiatives and the people who are working on the ground for them.
Okay, well, we'll certainly be stalking them for the next couple of days. Thank you very much. That's our UK correspondent, Natalie Powell, there in London, just reflecting on this visit by Harry and Meghan.